Step inside the vibe, welcome to the flow. From the mind of Lil Joe, where the stories grow. Laid back wisdom, smooth as Sunday brunch. A life of thought, he hits you with the punch. Lil Joe's mind, a maze of gold. From jokes to truth, stories untold. Pull up a chair, let the convo roll. It's the mind of Lil Joe, feeding your soul. Talking about the world from the wild to the mild. Every topic on the table, thoughts free and wild. Chill like a summer breeze, groove so divine. From the cosmos to the corner, all intertwined. Retro funk with a lo-fi swing. Chill rap waves, let the podcast sing. Wisdom laced in humor, truths in disguise. Lil Joe dropping gems, open up your eyes. From late night laughs to early morning rants. Philosophies dance while the rhythm enchants. Relax, kick back, it's the vibe we sow. Straight from the mind of Lil Joe, let's go. Lil Joe's mind, a maze of gold. From jokes to truth, stories untold. Pull up a chair, let the convo roll. It's the mind of Lil Joe, feeding your soul. Lil Joe's mind, a maze of gold. From jokes to truth, stories untold. Pull up a chair, let the convo roll. It's the mind of Lil Joe, feeding your soul. Talking about the world from the wild to the mild. Every free and wild, chill like a summer breeze. Groove so
What happens when your story is too small for the big networks? When your message matters, but you can't afford the spotlight. That's where Purpose-Inspired TV steps in. We're the bridge between the haves and have-nots, covering the events and voices others ignore. Available on Roku and Fire TV, we make professional streaming affordable for everyone. Your purpose deserves a platform. Join Purpose-Inspired TV.
talking. Hello? I'm talking to myself. How am I talking to myself? Turn the volume up. Hurry. Hello? 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 Turn the volume up. Check. Mic wrong. Check. Okay. Looks like the mic is better now. I don't know if y'all caught that first part that I was saying. Had my forgot to put my picture in the. Uh-oh. Forgot to put the picture. My computer is acting goofy. My mouse don't want to be mousing. Doing whatever I want to do. If I should open up my mouth and work on it. Okay, let me wrap it back in. Let me get back in here. So as I was saying, so a lot of people think, hey, all this stuff is going on. It has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with us. So we just go about our business. We're going to continue to go to work. We're going to continue to shop and spend and travel and do whatever. We're not going to pay attention to anything that's going on. I don't think that's wise. Um, so then it's getting close to home. Some people who are already traveling, like I just said, they are trapped. Some people are trapped over in different countries. I mean, not trapped. There's some airports are shut down, or then if the airport is not shut down, there's a lot of no-fly zone. They can't fly, so they can't fly out. And some people it's not safe to get on the bus and ride somewhere else, so they're stuck. Then even close to home, right across the border in Mexico, there's some situations going on. I just heard recently something going on with I think some operations are going on in Ecuador. So there's certain places where the cruise ships are not able to port. So it's getting close to home. It's getting closer to you. So my question: so what if this turns into a long-term war and more countries get involved? You hear a lot of uh, countries are planning to back Iran. Um, so what if these countries get involved? What should regular people do? What do you do? What do you think? What should you even be concerned about what's going on with the quote unquote war? I say that because it's not really even been declared a war. So we attacked uh, Venezuela, blew up a bunch of ships. That's not war. We're just doing what we want to do. Now we're in Ecuador. It's not war. I think we've bombed at least 8 other countries this year. It's not war. Now we're bombing Iran, and it's not war. I guess they're getting away with a lot of stuff by not calling it a war. But people dying, soldiers dying, doesn't matter what you call it, people still dying. So, what do we do? Yes, one as believers, we pray. So, here are just a little bit, few tips, 5 things that people should be thinking about. At least think about it. I mean, again, some people just don't even want to watch the news. And I can't imagine, I can tell you, it's a lot of people have no clue um, that the battle and these bombs are being dropped. Um, People are dying and buildings are being blown up and military bases are getting attacked. The last I heard, they say 6 Americans um, were unalive, but I believe it's more. I'm sorry, that was military. But the way you're showing these different things getting blowed up, it's hard to believe that it's just at that low number. Um, and even these other places, some of these bombs they're hitting motels, hotels, and schools. You know, when it first started, it hit schools, killed several school age girls. So again, it's a lot of people who are just like, yeah, it's none of my business, not paying attention to it. So, but we should pay attention to it. So here are 5 things that we should be at least thinking about. Let's start off with one. Maybe I think you already noticed it. A lot of the gas prices are going up. So why does that? So we already it was a disruption with some of the gas with the Venezuela situation, and now and what's one of their biggest exports was oil. I believe they didn't have the oil, would nobody be bothering them. And now we're over in Iran, we're blowing up Iran, and what's their number one export? Oil. Is back to oil again. So that will affect everybody's gas price. Everybody that's dependent on them. That's pretty much everybody. Because if you have a car and you commute to work and everything, you're constantly going to be watching the gas prices slowly go up. Um, and then even if you stay home, let's say if you ride the bus or ride the plane, get deliveries, order food, you like stuff to get shipped to your store, all of those different situations require the use of gas. So these wars happening, the gas prices go up. Wars affect, yeah, like I said, the shipping of the food. Food prices are going to start going up. So gas first, and we already was in this. Still had the effects of the tariff wars, where we as American citizens were paying for the tariff. So everything went up, and then our price, we had to pay extra. So now the gas is going up, food prices going up, and the stock market is gonna be affected, and that means even your job. So what do you mean about a job? So now on different jobs, so that a lot of the different businesses run their business off of a margin of paying for different things. So what I mean, uh, so if I have a business or warehouse and I'm ordering things again, so the tariff still had. I believe a lot of companies still are recovering from the tariffs. And I know that's a subject we could talk about. What happened to the tariff money? I think a lot of people. I keep saying it. A lot of people don't know this. A lot of people don't know. But a lot of people still don't understand. I don't understand why so many people don't understand. I don't understand. But so let's talk about real quick. I like to do stuff real quick. Talk about tariffs. So what is a tariff and why the government keeps saying that the other people will pay for the tariffs, and then other people saying no, we're going to pay for the tariff. So real quick, this wasn't part of my plan. Uh, let's see here. There's a like a ink pen, an ink pen coming from overseas. I'm gonna go with it costs um, $5. I need a good number. $5. Anyway, okay. Pen costs $5, and so the business pays the five. I'm talking about $5 shipping and handling and everything came to $5. So this business takes this, pays the overseas company the $5. So now it's five. So now they gotta make a profit. So probably the first thing they do is triple the price. It's $5. They probably uh, double the price. That's $5, and then get another profit, another $5. So now they sell it for 15. They bought it for 5, sell it for 15, made a $10 profit. Okay. So now the president put a tariff on it of $5. That's a 100% tariff. Okay. So now it was $5. Guess what? These people still got their $5. They got their $5. Ain't nothing changed with them. So now they got the $5, um, and they was gonna make $10. But now the president said charge $5 more. So now they added $5 more to it. So now the customer has to pay $20 for the item that was going to cost them 15, and now it's costing them $20. So now somebody took that $5. It, so this company, they paid the $5. Now they got the item. So actually, they paid the people that made it $5. Then they paid the government $5. So now they in it for $10. So now they're gonna go get the same money they was gonna make in the first place. Um, yeah. Wait a minute, there's more. Yeah, they getting that $10 plus you got to pay that extra $5 for the tariffs that they paid. So now you paying the 20. So now they saying tariff was illegal. He wasn't supposed to do it. Give the people the money back. Yeah, some y'all need to look into it. It's some people that made a lot of money on those tariffs. A lot of people the money went to them and they did different things with the money that the tariffs brought in. And which is supposed to actually go back to the customer, which it's not going to go back to the customer. So then, okay, then since it doesn't go back to the customer, it should go back to the company who paid it. So why would it go back to them when they already received the $5 from the customer? So we're not going to refund the customer. Now that business is either going to get it or the government keeps the money. But like I said, it's some people that was already doing some sneaky stuff in the background, and that money was going into them. So like I said, where does it go? Okay, sorry, that was a little update on what the tariffs is and was. So um, now again, so now with the prices of gas, so now it's a supply and demand. What's going on in Iran is disrupting. I think some of the gas plants were bombed. Um, so and even the straits, what is it, Straits of Hormuz, I think it is, where a lot of the tankers and stuff go back and forth. And so they got ships. They said they sunk a Iranian ship. It's getting worse before it's getting better. I believe our government thought that they would just go in there and drop a couple of bombs. Iran would give up and surrender and let America go in, kick out the people they want to kick out, put in people who they want to put in, and do whatever they want to do. Same thing what they trying to do it in what they thought is what they did in Venezuela. Uh, so if you don't like the government, uh, that's one thing. But it's people here in America complain about our government. What would we say or do if another country felt like um, we want to free America? We want to free America of their government. We want to free America from the things that that government is doing to their people. So we're going to go in there and take over America. So what do you feel about that? So it's kind of like I feel this is my that's my shit. I feel like we have this level of arrogance. We're so arrogant we can tell people what to do because we're so great and powerful. Uh, so I do not believe that we should be in this war. I believe we was brought into it without uh, we shouldn't have been in this war. So long story short, we need to stay informed. We need to like do no, we don't have to watch the news all the time, 24 hours, 7 days a week. No, I'm not saying that. But you need to know. Like imagine being in these different places and they're not watching the news and look like some don't. And then all of a sudden here comes the bomb, the sirens and everything, and bombs starting to fall. And like, what's going on? I didn't know this was about to happen. But no, it's not a time. Don't panic. So to be key. Don't panic, but pay attention. Don't panic, but pay attention. Don't panic, but pay attention. You need to pay attention to what's going on, what's happening, um, even with like I said, the gas increases. I know y'all paying attention to that when you go to the gas pump. You can be paying attention. Uh, so, so that's one is paying attention to what's going on with the gas prices, going on with the the shipping of things coming from overseas. So if it's something that you really need to get, I think if you really don't need it, don't order it. But if something that you really need, you better be you need to be ordering it like now, ASAP. And even food, we don't. I don't believe in hoarding, but I believe the gas prices are gonna. I mean, gas prices going up. If gas prices go up, pretty much everything is gonna go up. So I think it behooves you if you don't have any food in your house that's gonna last you a little while. I behoove you to get you some food in the house. Even watch the stock market. Um, yeah, yeah. Just pay. You should be paying attention to what any kind of stocks that you have. Make sure he's in the right place and not make sure that you're not losing money. Right now, the safe spot is crypto. That's what the government. Actually, the government is backing and protecting crypto faster than before they protect the American dollar. And the American dollar is some kind of on his last leg. If you've been paying attention, the American dollar is kind of like on his last leg. And I believe a lot of these situations and attacks and stuff have something to do with that too. Where a lot of people that they're not trusting what's going on in America. So the American dollar was the standard. So nowadays, like, I said, yeah, I'm about to lose money and all this kind of stuff. We need another way to feel safe with our money. So they're starting to take their money in other places. So let's go. So number two will be something that we need to pay attention to is the travel. I know a lot of people here become the spring travel season and summer trips. Like I said, there are people stranded right now. One thing, if the government, it's kind of like we're getting mixed messages on. At 1 minute, it's like it was a surprise. They didn't know this was going to happen. Then on the other side, yeah, they knew it was going to happen, so they needed to go ahead and do it. But they didn't inform us, their people. They didn't inform. They put it like, okay, something about to go down. It's not wise to go over there now. We need to get out of that. Now it's kind of like nobody. I don't know if it's been fixed, but there was people calling the helpline. So one thing, like if you're overseas, you can go to the embassy. A lot of our embassies have been attacked. It's kind of like chaotic in so many different countries or attacked at the same time. So we're kind of stretched, kind of thin on trying to handle a whole lot of different things. And saving Americans is probably not high up on that list. So I mean, if you're going on a cruise, pay attention. So pay attention to where it's going. Have a check and see if some of the routes have been changed. I do not at all believe that cruise ships over here, especially here close to the states, are going to be attacked. I do not believe that, but I believe some of the ports, like in Mexico, different islands, it might be some disruption on going to different ports. Um, there's a lot of flights being canceled. It's just like it's a domino effect. So I would check your flights. Like I did say, the fuel prices. A lot of times you already bought your tickets and stuff. It's not going to go up, but really the airplane tickets are probably going to start going up. Like I said, there's a lot of people stuck overseas, and there's really no plan to help them get out. So check travel advisors. I get this for years. Some of y'all don't know I'm a travel agent, or certified travel agent. And when I got into it, I put some alerts. It's like Google alerts. So if a particular place that you want to travel to, you can go to Google and request the alerts. So I was booking um, cruise ships and cruise trips, and a lot of the cruise trips went down in the Caribbean, in South America, those places like that. So I put a Google alert to let me know if anything was going on. So when I was anytime when I was booking, I was up to date on what's going on. So if I'm booking if I was booking a cruise, 'cause a lot of times the cruises are a lot of times they are booked well in advance and paid for well in advance. But as a travel agent, you will still keep in contact with your customers and let them know what's going on. And another, so if I'm sending someone to an all inclusive somewhere like in Mexico or somewhere, Cancun, Jamaica, and stuff is going on, I would like to know and let the customer know, hey, there's a situation going on in this city. It may not be safe for you to travel at this time. That's where the travel agency stuff, travel agents come in handy. Um, so you can check the travel advisor, like I said, especially if you're going to go on one of the trips, download or get the Google advisory so that you'll get the update. Check with the State Department. I pray that they keep everything up to date. They supposed to let you know the update so you can look up where you're going and see what code, what level of safety travel they have, and then avoid um, just if you know something's going down, just avoid it as much as possible. I mean, some people like excitement, or some people think it won't affect me. I saw those. It was a female basketball team that played. I guess they were playing for Iran, and I saw that video and some. They was joking and stuff. Bombs were just falling off in the distance, and they was in the hotel room, kind of laughing and joking, having a good time. And they was told to evacuate, to go outside, and they were still laughing and joking. So they ended up having to catch a bus uh, out of where they were. But again, I've heard stories of a lot of Americans. They have no way and no way out to get from where they are. So again, so we're talking about what would you do? What would you do if something go down? So you need to strengthen your personal finances. War often triggers inflation. So we were already having inflation issues. We're already having issues with our inflation here. So now a war is not going to make it go down. It's just going to make it go up. Get worse. The fuel price is going to go up. Supply shortages. The supply chain is going to be broken. Supplies are going to go up. So just about everything that you buy is going to go up. So that means the money that you have is not going to stretch as far as it would have before. So this is the time that they're dropping bombs, and this has been what since Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. This is Thursday. So that's been 5 days of them still fighting. So I was like, but I would behoove, go back to my behoove, you to not to spend unnecessary money if you don't have to. And then if you can build or hope you have an emergency fund. Hopefully you should already have one um, established already. If you don't, you need to build a emergency fund. Uh, Avoid getting into further debt as possible. Lord, I talk to myself. We just had to get an air conditioning unit. Oh, oh, that hurt. It hurt. But it was time. It surpassed, I believe, the amount of the lifespan that my air conditioning unit had. So that's something that was a necessity. But if you don't have a necessity, it's not the time to just be spending. Like I said, so why? So I'm good. I'm good. I got plenty of money. You might have plenty of money, but imagine what your dollar can buy today may not be able to buy the same thing tomorrow. So imagine. So that's what inflation is. When you think you got something, when if the economy crashes and bad things happen, the money that you think you have, it's not going to be there. Oh, sorry. When the worlds get unstable, the strongest position you can be in is financially stable. Basically, all your stuff is taken care of. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? So when people are struggling and they need money, they come out to people that owe them money. So if I owe a bunch of money and I got people that owe me a bunch of money, I'm going after those folks that owe me some money. I can pay the money that How? Don't y'all know that most banks, there's no money in those banks. They loan it out. Did you know? Uh, look at this. Uh, When you put your money in the bank, banks tell you to save money, but banks don't save money. Banks put the money to work. They put your money to work. So if you bring $10 and put it in the bank, they're gonna take that $10 and loan it to 10 different people and get and get paid interest from all 10 of those people by using your $10, and then they give you 3 cents. Well, they probably made $100 off of your $10. Yeah, that's how it works. But okay. I digress. Number 4, prepare for supply disruptions. Disruptions. If you're a couponer, if you're a couponer and you got your stockpile, your stockpile just went up in value. Uh, so those who don't, it is past time to start couponing and get your a supply together. Again, I did not believe in hoarding. Um, like it is, I think sometimes couponing end up being on the verge of being like on a hoarding level. Like some people, I don't know if they can still do it. I'm trying they was going, some people go in the stores as soon as they put 50 items on the shelf, one coupon to go in there and take all 50 and you buy them all and go put them in their garage, or sometimes they resell them. So now all these other 50 people, the other communities don't have access because one person bought all 50 of them. Come on. So yeah, that's not right. But if you gradually over time build up your supply without causing um, a big issue with your neighborhood store, I don't see an issue with that. So some of the disruptions, I keep saying a lot of stuff is going to be repeat throughout the oil. So throughout the country, oil is going to be probably the first one that's going to be um, cut or having an issue with shipping routes. So it goes back to stuff being shipped from overseas that used to take so many days, and now the ship probably can't even move. Electronics, a lot of these electronics are coming from overseas. If they stop, a lot of our like electronics start getting dirt cheap. They're making it dirt cheap overseas, and then even after they mark up the prices, it's still dirt cheap. So I can't imagine what the source charges. Because let's say like a big 60 inch TV, you get a 60-inch TV what $300. Like, are you kidding me? You can get a 60-inch TV around $300. So if they selling it for 300, they had to been less than $100 for this TV. But yeah, a lot of the the cost of making stuff is dropped drastically. That's why a lot of back in the '80s, a lot of these manufacturing companies they left America. They took their companies overseas. Okay, here's a medicine. Medicine. There might be a disruption in the medicine. So if you can get extra medicine, get it. Again, I'm not telling you to hoard, just telling you to be wise and use the wisdom. Um, Here's some practical advice. Keep basic supplies at home. You should have basic supplies. Imagine not being able to go to the store for a week or two, and what would you have in your house to prevent you from having to go to the store for 2 weeks? And if it really gets bad, it's gonna be longer than 2 weeks. But that should be the basics. What can how can you have your house prepared to be able to survive without going to the store for 2 weeks? That should be your first goal. Do that. Get your house in order so you don't have to leave your house for 2 weeks. Some of us live off of takeout. Uh, some people go to the grocery store every day or every other day, but we need to be able to not have a grocery store to go to. So that's one thing you should try to have ready. Don't wait until the shortages happen. Don't wait till they start talking about on the news. The shelves are getting thin. Time to start is now. It's time to start now, not later. Um, Rotate food and essentials. So if you do um, get some food, you still should rotate. Uh, it's check the dates on everything, and sometimes yeah, that's another subject about checking the dates. A lot of times the dates doesn't mean that's when that thing expires. That's a lot of times they just put it up there. That's when my um, it was like their best freshness. And the that's what it is, optimus freshness. So that's what some companies say that's the climax of how their device, not device, their item, let's just say it's got a date up there for uh, 3 months. That's the date they put in there. So 3 months is like, this is how long it would be before the peak best tasting of our potato chips. And after 3 months, the taste starts going down a little bit. But it can last a year, but they put 3 months up there to try to say it's not as good. So that means you throw it away and come buy another bag. Yeah. So I would do some like sometimes check. You got something that you bought. I would Google, hey, how long? Hey, I just bought this kind of, let's say, a can of beans and a can of corn, and it says a year, and then you can go and look it up. How long does a can of corn and beans or whatever last? And it makes say 5 years or 10 years. But this thing got 1 year up there. That's it. That's what they say. They really want you to be a repeat customer. They don't need people having a lot of food in their houses if they want to get them to keep on coming. So they got to put these dates up there to make people think that the food is expired and no good, so you can throw it away and come buy some more. Sad times are weird, but yeah, that's not all the time, but that's what a lot of some of the fruit companies do. It's sometimes it's nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with the food, but they got these dates up here to make people throw the food away. It's marketing. So let's look at the bigger picture. There is, I'm sorry, okay. This is where our faith comes in. I'm talking to you. We got to stand on our faith. What role should citizens play in holding leaders accountable? So number one is we got to pray for our leaders. We got to pray for our leaders. Uh, so one of the cabinet members just got fired or got another position, but there's a lot of people that's not doing their job in the government right now. But we got to pray for our leaders, or pray for new leaders to be able to come in. Um, so we need to pay attention to the different bills that's really affecting everyday people. It's a lot of bills getting passed, trying to go into law that's affecting people, like the Save Act. The Save Act is supposed to be to make every American um, to really use that, either get a passport or use their birth certificate. So they want that saying that you have to show proof of citizenship before you can vote. But they said they're supposed to be trying to prevent from voter fraud, but they show it's just like a fraction of a percent of voter fraud over the last 20, 30 years. It's just like teeny tiny. And some of the people they thought that they thought that they could vote, but they got caught. So it was like one thing they're saying is um, voter fraud is a big issue, which is not. But then the ones who did do voter fraud, they got caught. So there's no issue. The system is working the way it's supposed to work. but they want the system broken to be able to um, pretty much bring in a new world order, the new changes, uh, and to take rights, certain civil rights away through the election. So we just need to pay attention, especially with the different things that's affecting everyday people. So my question is for a lot of people: Are you, how we, so we as Americans and still we citizens of the earth, are we praying for peace or are we cheering for war? So we used to be like our department used to be the Department of Defense. Department of Defense. His job was to defend the country, defend its people. And it wasn't officially changed, but they tried to, this government changed it to Department of War. So instead of defending, they are saying they're going to be more aggressive and cause war. And we see the bombings. I know at one point they was like, no, we're going to stop all the wars. We're not going to have any wars when we was the Department of Defense. And now, it seems like in the same breath, they changed from the Department of Defense to the Department of War. And now that's when all these bombings and different things. So I don't think it's godly for us to be all this pro-war. Um, but wars are decided by leaders, but the cost is always the people. Yeah, so the leaders are sitting back in their special rooms, their special protection, and making these decisions to go to war, and it's not affecting them. Bombs are not coming to them. But it did. Iran, that their leader was on the line. But a lot of major, man, those people, sorry, um, a lot of they're like, man, you're real. I guess we heard the president say pretty much you got to give, sacrifice your life for the country, give your life to the country. And I'm getting new curtains in my over here in the Oval Office. Uh, it's it's crazy. Um, do you think, I don't know how many people are watching? So I got a question. Do you think Americans ignore world events too much? Because Americans, even the ones that's traveling, even the ones here, does Americans ignore the world events too much? I gotta. Do y'all remember that? I think it was a DC sniper. It was two guys, two men, a younger guy and an older guy. They were, oh, is it DC or Maryland? That was DC. But they was going on a rampage. They were snipers, killing people, shooting people, and they shut the whole city down. So the whole city is shut down. So now only people on the streets are the FBI, CIA, the military, the police, everybody that's in law enforcement were out there trying to capture these two individuals. And they show, cameras on the streets are clear. Nobody's out, nobody's driving, nobody's going anywhere. So all of a sudden, here come this lady, young lady. She come walk pop, walking, walking down the street with her earbuds on and just chilling. So now she's walking, and once she haven't even lifted her head up to see that nobody else is out on the street. So she's walking, and the police like they got movement, got that kind of thing. And they went and got her, and I was like, "What are you doing out here?" And she's like, "What do you mean? What do you mean doing out here? Yeah, what are you doing out here? It's a curfew. Everything shut down. Why?" Because she hadn't watched the news. She, she probably, her social media, her music, her TV shows, whatever. She had not consumed any um, information about the shooting. So I think a lot of people are like that. They use the analogy of got your head in the sand, but that's that analogy is a little bit, it means something else. But yeah, if you look at got your head in the sand, not paying attention of what's going on, you need to pay attention to what's going on. Have you ever had a trip canceled because of something happening in another country? So that's have you ever had to cancel a trip? So as a travel agent, we would be recommended any reason insurance. I mean, nobody. What happens? My fault, your fault. No matter what happens, uh, the insurance will cover it. Imagine even as long as when you're on your way, let's say you're on your way to your trip and you trip off your front porch. As long as you are on your way to on your trip, that is covered. Nowhere, no matter where you are along the way. So that again, that's what we is. Thank you for that. If gas jumps up to $5 a gallon, how would it affect your household? Would you continue to do the same thing that you're doing? $5 a gallon. California already experienced it. So if if the average jumps to $5, man, um, that would be a killer over um, like places like California. Man, that's gonna be like $8, $9. I want to see real quick. When I was in what's one of the places that I went to? Let me see. I think I'm googling something real quick. Uh, um, yeah. First of all, I'm gonna see what we got. What's the price of gas in California right now? That is it's 4.81. Ooh, that's still way higher. Almost almost $2 more than us here. But some place that has some crazy um gas prices. London. Take a second. It was they do it by liter, so I have confused on how to translate that. Um, they said that price is kind of low now. Hmm. Okay, let me get that. Get that. So what are we? Tick. 48 minutes. All right. Do you think our country get involved in too many conflicts? You know, a lot of people were saying, "Hey, like in the wars." That's what the government said. When they come in office, they can end all the wars and not go to wars. Not going to be any more wars. Not going to be any more attacks. And it seemed like overnight it clicked to a whole bunch of wars and bombing. So should we be continuing to be doing this? Um, I, s- I say yes and no. You get make a decision. I say yes. I think there's a lot of situations we're getting involved with that don't really have a lot to do with us. It's just about everything around the world has it can affect everybody, but there are certain things that seem like we shouldn't be. Even like this situation. So we got we got a mixed signal. The first signal was why did we? So we already bombed our, Iran a couple of weeks ago. So they say, okay, they got nuclear capabilities, so we're gonna take some bombs and go blow up those nuclear places. So they did that. No no real, not much retaliation. They stayed quiet. So they America said that everything was totally demolished. It was totally gone. There was nothing left. Everything was destroyed. So that means they had no capability of having nuclear weapons. And now, this weekend, Israel was going to go and attack, and America joined in with them. People like Marco Rubio was like, we needed to join them because if we didn't join them, Iran would have got angry and fought back and then attacked America. Well, they're attacking all America's interests anyway. So it's kind of like I'm going to punch you because I think what's going to happen to you is going to make you want to punch me. So I'm going to punch you first before you realize that you're going to want to punch me. that's that's how they explain it. You try to get them. Um, yeah, we want to get them before they think about getting us. History shows us some things, some very important. Every major war start with people thinking it will not last long and it won't affect us. But the truth is, global events eventually touches us all. So the real question isn't panic, it's preparation. That's what they're saying. It's time to prepare. It's time for us to stay aware and time for us to get wisdom. So I want to talk about some real kind of quickly on some situations where Americans thought don't have nothing to do with us and it can be over real quick. Yo, ain't got nothing to do with us. Starting off World War One, 1914, 1918, a long time ago. When the war started in Europe, yeah, that's way over there in Europe. Uh, Most Americans believe it was just a European problem. The United States tried to stay out of it, tried to stay neutral. Eventually, we had to get, we got pulled in, had to go save our buddies. Um, so millions and millions of men were drafted. Food and fuel were rationed. You know? Factories stopped making regular products and started making weapons. So a lot of the stuff that we used to get on a regular basis, it stopped. And even I just heard this fun fact. Fun fact. So what would a company that would make bullets? What is something they could make after the war is over? You know something that a bullet they made bullets. Uh-uh. What would be something that they made? All right. I'll tell you. Lipstick. So you know that the shape of your well, some of the lipstick became the shape of a bullet. So that's what happened. What had happened was after they finished making bullets, they got this production line set up to make these shapes. Um, so they was like, okay, we don't need to make all these many bullets no more. So I believe the owner of this one company decided, okay, let's make some lipstick and make lipstick containers, and that's what they did. Okay, so so now they got the food ration, bunch of people get drafted, factories stop making regular products and start making weapons. Families um, lose loved ones overseas. That's already started. Why did our Secretary of Defense get upset that they put the pictures on of the soldiers, fallen soldiers, on the paper in the paper? They talking about he talking about they shouldn't have did it because it made President Trump look bad. You don't even want to honor your fallen soldiers. That's sad. Um, a conflict that looks far away changes everyday life in America. People thought it was a Europe thing with World War One, but before long, American families and sons were in the trenches and all the way across the ocean. So that thousands of our brothers and fathers and uncles, nephews got killed in that war. Here's World War II, 1939, 1945. That's 6 years. And many first Americans, yeah, at first, many Americans believe that the war between Germany and Japan had nothing to do with them. Let Germany and Japan fight it out, let them kill each other, unalive each other. It don't matter. And then the attack on Pearl Harbor changed everything. They drug us into this war. We got punched. We got punched hard. We got hit hard. Okay, we can't stay neutral. So that was like overnight. Uh, overnight. But after watching the war go on, I guess we're still living our lives, having a good old time. And then all of a sudden, we are in it. So the they started rationing gas. They started rationing the food. So there wasn't no hoarding at this point. Like they knew stuff had to be tight. Rubber and metal shortages. Um, Factories switched again. They was making some of them make weapons before, then they start making civilian stuff, and they had to switch it back and start making weapons again. Women entered to the workforce in large numbers. So we're talking about Women's History Month. Rosie the Riveter. So why was Rosie the Riveter? Why did she have to do that? What had happened was a lot of the men, American men, was off in the war. They was gone by the thousands, going off the war. So that left a whole lot of factories empty. So that's where Rosie the Riveter, a lot of women went to work in the warehouses and factories that their husbands worked in. Uh, everything, the everyday things like tires and sugar were limited. So the stuff you could just get it anytime, you couldn't get it like that no more. So what's the lesson? Global war reshapes economies and society. War didn't just happen on the battlefield. It changed how Americans live their everyday life. What about 1973? Yeah, I was a baby at this time, but I do remember seeing some. I don't know if I saw it in my eyes or did I see it later about 1973. Um, Middle East countries cut oil exports to the United States and other Western nations. They they shut it off. So I haven't studied all what happened, but I know I've seen those videos and pictures of car lines of cars, or gone wrapped for blocks, and there was a limited supply of gas that people could get. So it was bad. Um, yeah, there was um, people in line for blocks and blocks trying to get gas, and then it was on a short, limited supply on how much you can get. And probably the price was higher too, so you got a higher price for the gas. Then you own limited to what you can get. So it was, guess who? Iran, Saudi Arabia, and showed that we was too dependent on their oil over there. So that yes, it was thousands of miles away. What's going on right now? It happened then, and like I said, it was bad. I mean, people running out of gas, um, no gas for days. It was bad. So yeah, it was thousands of miles away, but it affected Americans' ability to drive and to work and the food. It just affected everything. Again, it's happening again. A decision made overseas had Americans waiting in line for hours just to buy gas. Same people, same situation. So why would it be any much too much different now? Um, History shows a pattern. Every time a major conflict starts somewhere else, people say that's their problem, not our problem. Eventually, the effect reaches us. It might not be today or tomorrow, but it could reach us in the gas pump, reach us in the grocery store, We just with our travel plans. Even sometimes our family. Some people, hey, we got family members that's in the military. We got family friends that's merchant seamen. Um, we got people doing business, traveling the world. We got people, going on vacation trips. So it still can touch you. You think that you're safe here, but it could be somebody in your family that's getting that's affected, that may be more affected than you. Um, do you think Americans pay enough attention um, until something bad? I guess that's the question. Do you think people wait to the last minute? That's what, do you think people wait to the last minute before they start trying to pay attention? And then let's say some people who did pay attention and get prepared, and then other people who didn't pay attention, they are going to look to the people who did prepare for the situation. So should you look out for them? And say if your family was wise and try to set aside stuff to take care and help their family, and other families didn't. And let's say you got 4 or 5 people in your household, and your family planned to have supplies for the 4 or 5 people in the household, and then other people who didn't prepare nothing, and they come knocking and they want some of your supply. Do you give it to them, or do you say to get to stepping? One thing, don't let everybody know what you got. That's one of the biggest things. Do not let everybody know what you got. And even I was just watching this thing. Don't be known as the one with the weapon. I'm gonna put this over here. Don't be known as the family or the person or the house with the weapon. Why? Because if the other people don't have a weapon and you do, you are the one that's a threat. You say, what do you mean? I'm gonna protect the people. No, the person with the weapon is the one that's the threat, the biggest threat, the immediate threat. Uh, so if let's say you got a couple of households that don't have a weapon, don't have a gun, and you got this one that does. So you know this one that does, if they get desperate, they're gonna be the ones that's causing the problem. They're gonna be the ones coming and robbing and doing whatever uh, they need to do to stay in charge and get what they want. So that person is the threat. So that's the person they're gonna. A lot of times, that's the person they're gonna go after first. Is the one with the weapon. So if you got weapons, keep quiet. You got food, keep quiet. You got medicine, keep quiet. Yeah, you can try to help a little bit because people find out you the one, you the target. You can take that to the bank, man. Uh-oh. Oh yeah, Shree said like this is getting prepared. It's like a hurricane. But people down we here down the south, we know that. But in the Midwest, so what they have these tornadoes, and some people they have these tornado bunkers um, underground. And a lot of them, they some do, some don't. Some have food. Um, not some of most of them. I'm thinking they don't because a tornado comes through, so you need to run, get in your hurricane shelter. While the hurricane comes through, and then a few minutes later it's gone, so you come back out. So there's no need to have a whole bunch of food in there. But anyway, some people have some survivor stuff. Um, but here you know in the path of the hurricane, they tell you to get prepared. So that means to be prepared to not be able to go to the store. Roads might be closed. Power might be out. All these different things. You need to be self-sufficient for some days. So sometimes they just say 2 or 3 days. I'll say triple that. In fact, get even more. I say try to be prepared for 2 weeks, and sometimes people it lasts even longer. I mean, the cleanup effort to be able to come and save you, and they get the supply chain back to the stores and everything. To say your grocery store was destroyed, restaurants are destroyed. So whether you have money or not, it's probably nothing around for you to get to. So anyway, I just hope these are some tips to help you. First of all, think about and pay attention to what's going on around the world and overseas. Second thing, not only you pay attention, the other P is get prepared. So pay attention. Don't worry. What I said earlier, don't panic. Prepare. Don't panic. Prepare. So be try your best. You can't be prepared for anything. You can't be prepared for a bomb landing in your house. Don't explode. That's, I saw that. Somebody had a missile that landed in their house and it didn't explode. And then the United States said, please send it back, give it back to us. Yeah, yeah. Israel tried to blow you up with 1 hour bomb, but if you don't mind, could you let us come get it? And that's some of the crazy stuff that's going on in America today. What would you do in that situation? See, you know what my thinking is? It's sad, but it's still mm, it might be controversial. That's all. But if I drop the bomb and it didn't blow up, but now I don't want the people who our enemies to get it and then turn around throwing it back and blowing it up on us. I need to make sure that bomb is detonated. So I have to send another one to land in the same spot and blow that one up. I'm just saying that's what I would do if I was in charge. But I ain't in charge. So now they just sent a energized written email about we need to let us come get it. So we sent a bomb over there to blow you up. It didn't blow up. So now, if you don't mind, please give it back to me. That's crazy, crazy, crazy. Okay, I'm getting out of here. All right, thank y'all for tuning in. To everybody have a blessed day. Pray to be prepared, prayed up, and trusting in your purpose. Amen. Everybody have a good evening. Little Joe out. That's it.